What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new video today. We're going to be doing my top 10 games of 2022 today, where we are going to rank them from 10 to 1 and going through each one why they are be given that number, alright? So let's jump into number 10. Starting off at number 10 with Pokemon Arceus. I can never say it properly. That game is number 10. It came out, started off the year pretty well, to be honest. It's quite weird for a Pokemon game to come out in January, because I can never think of a Pokemon game that's come out in January. So it kind of started off with this new Pokemon game, which is to step in a new direction, which I can't think of the studio's name, but the people who make Pokemon want to kind of go in. Is it Game Freak, is it? I feel like Game, isn't it? Game Freak. It's the direction they want to go with now with the Pokemon franchise. And for years and years, we've always talked about third person, open world, go do what you want to do. And they're kind of doing that now with Pokemon. And I did like this first temptation, like their first attempt of doing this. Obviously performance wise it's not great. The quests is a cool nice little feature, like the openness. The storyline was a bit weird, but it kind of was okay to get along with. Pokemon were pretty cool. The overall package of the game was quite alright, and the overall experience was all right to play, to be honest. Quite enjoyed the whole time playing it. But I just feel like Pokemon at the moment is in that place, like, we're gonna have a few rough Pokemon games for the next few years, I feel, to get to where we want to be. So at the moment, I describe these Pokemon games are like beta testing, or early access for the main Pokemon game in a few years, because the new Scarlet one's just come out, and that one's a bit questionable what they're doing in it, and I still need to go back and play it, because I started playing it but I was a bit like, what the hell's going on here? So I need to go back and actually finish that one. But I feel like Pokemon at the moment is on a new direction, an exciting one, but I think you're going to need to give it some time before we give it the ultimate Pokemon game status. So everything on this list is not going to be coming out of 2022. These are games I have played in 2022. And coming in at number 9 is Dying Light. Dying Light is a game that's been on my list for absolute forever. I love the idea of it, like open world, zombies and stuff like that. I'm not a big horror person, or zombie person really as well, kind of like when it comes to games. I like the idea of it, but this was that kind of game I was like, I will play this at some point. I will play this. And I finally got around to it in 2022. Absolutely loved it, I did, for a zombie game. At the beginning it felt a bit slow, but I feel like once I got to a point where I basically got a gun. When I got a gun, I absolutely loved it. I didn't go too crazy with exploring combat and stuff like that, and just wanted to kind of do the story while experiencing this open world a little bit. And I just generally found, like, with the craft of the weapons and stuff like that, you need to go scavenge a lot. I didn't really do a lot of that, but I found as soon as I found a gun, I absolutely loved the game, and it was definitely a different experience. I've got Dying Light 2 to play this year, which that game re-motivated me to play this game, because I loved when they sold Dying Light 2, like, your choices that you make in the game affects what happens in the story game. I was like, oh my god, I need to play Dying Light 1 so I can play Dying Light 2. So Dying Light was a very good, like, zombie horror kind of game to play, and really enjoy the openness. And I'm really looking forward to playing Dying Light 2 after playing this game, because if that game was really good, I'm looking forward to Dying Light 2. And next up on my list is a game which has been out for quite a while, but I've put it off for ages. Slime Rancher. Absolutely love this game, I did. It was just generally a ball, like a big ball bag of fun. It was generally like everything I wanted from this game. It was chilled, relaxed, fun. Had its moments which was a bit annoying with puzzles, because I do not like puzzles at all. But luckily I was streaming it, and one of the viewers I was streaming it to, they played the game so many times, so they helped me a lot. But the overall game, it was so much fun. I generally recommend give it a go, especially if you've got Game Pass. I think it's on Game Pass. Give it a go. It's such a chill, fun, relaxing game. Generally surprising, and I'm generally kind of craving it again recently. I'm like, you know what, I'd love to play that one, but I know Slime Rancher 2 is out now, or it's coming out soon, or it might be in early access at the minute, so might be tempted to try that out. But generally such a fun, chill game. I really recommend playing it. It's like a game you can play over like a week and like a few hours a day, or might go crazy sessions, because it was just generally one of them games I was just addicted to and just wanted to play for hours and hours and hours. Kind of like Minecraft in a way, which is one of them games I only want to play like loads at one time, and Slime Rancher is one of them games. And next up on my list is The Quarry. Quarry, really enjoyed this game. I really love these horror choice-based games. They're like watching a movie, but you get to choose what happens in that movie. I absolutely love these games. These are my ideal kind of horror games because I'm not really like a big horror person. Like, I like the idea of horror, but having to be the person play the horror game, I don't like being scared and shit like that, basically. And I like being able to kind of play this sort of horror game because it's just so goddamn awesome, because it's like watching a movie, but it's a video game. Generally, if you've never played like any of these games like Dark Pictures or The Quarry, Quarry's a great entry to play. It really is good. It's a good standalone game. Until Dawn, fantastic games. And these guys make such good games. And this is quite surprising to have a horror game in my top 10 games for this year, but this is definitely a solid game worth playing. This one's going to catch me by surprise. Diablo 3. I am been wanting to play this game for a very, very long time. Give it a go, because I generally thought I'd give it a go because many people speak so highly of Diablo and like how amazing it is and how much time and shit, just all positiveness about this game. I was like, you know what, I have to pick this up, try it out, but I'm probably going to end up selling this game because I'm not going to like it. But at least I could say I tried it. I brought it, left it on my shelf for ages, then I just like, I think I went for a bit of a period, like I was like, right, I just need a game to play because I weren't playing any games at the time, and I just put Diablo in, and you know what? It was the most perfect game. Like, if you want a simple, like, pick up your controller for an hour, then put it back down after an hour, it's the best game for that. Honestly, I cannot get over on how satisfying that game was playing over like 2 or 3 weeks, because I was just in a bit of a rut with games and I just wanted just to kind of kill an hour or 2 hours, and it was that perfect game. I literally picked up the controller, sat for an hour, like did like a quest which was about an hour, and I'll put the controller down, walk away, go do whatever shit I wanted to go and do, and that game really satisfied me for over a month. I'm generally really hyped for Diablo 4, and I'm generally actually quite tempted to go back and play Diablo 3 again because it was just such a perfect game to pick up and put back down. And I could tell you what the story really was. I kind of have a vague idea, but I just love the combat in it, the dungeons, the quest. It was just such a good experience. I absolutely loved playing Diablo 3, and I can see why a lot of people go back to it, but probably not for the reasons I want to go back to it, because it was just a perfect game to pick up, play for an hour, put back down. But people I know play it for like 10 hours plus a day, but I just want to like have that sort of game where you just pick up, put down again, and that game hit that spot so well. So this one is number 5. Probably be like, dang, how is this game not higher because it's one of your favourite games? And that is The Last of Us Part 1. Part 1, we have played it before. I'm not going to rank this too high on my list because it's only a remake. Obviously, I want to do top 10 like best games I've played, and there's been other like really good games out this year, so don't be like offended with this because Last of Us is one of my favourite games, but we have played it before. But I just generally rate it really high because the experience was really good fun replaying it again, and obviously the story we know is phenomenal, the characters are phenomenal, the overall beautifulness of this game and how it performs on the PS5 is putting it at number 5. It's generally, other than that, it probably wouldn't be on my top 10 probably because I don't feel like it deserves to be on it because we've played it before, but for a remake I definitely think it's worth picking up. If you've got an next-gen console, pick it up and play it because it's just visually like a big step forward. So just for that alone, I recommend picking it up, trying it out yourself, and experience this game again. It's just phenomenal. And coming in at number 4 is God of War. I only got around to playing God of War 2018 this year, only because I put it off for years and years and years because so many people told me, Dane, you're not gonna like God of War, there's too many puzzles, and I'm not a puzzle guy, like I said earlier on in the video. But I generally just put this game off for ages and ages. Then I'll just at work one day and my friend walked in and he's like, mate, the new God of War Ragnarok's out. So I'm like, yeah, it looks so bloody awesome, that game does. Hope you enjoy it. He's like, have you played God of War 1? I was like, no. He's like, right, go home and play it. And I remember, it's like, well, it was free on PlayStation not long ago on PlayStation Plus. So I don't have to spend money on it, and I could just install it and try it out. If I don't like it, then I can just uninstall it. I don't lose any money. And so I got home, installed it, and you know generally what? Absolutely fantastic game. Characters, story, the whole thing, all amazing. Only thing I have with this game or this year was it did feel a little bit Dark Soulsy in the at the end of it. Like when I say Dark Soulsy, it's like you have to get into a groove of like rolling and like trying to work out what the boss's patterns are, which is Dark Souls in a way, which I'm not a real Dark Souls fan. And I felt like I couldn't just hit my swords. I'm one of these guys that like just spam me buttons and just keep hitting and maybe roll a little bit then spam again. I'm one of these kind of players. But with God of War, you've kind of got to learn and watch the patterns. That's the only thing I found annoying. The puzzles were quite easy, to be honest, in the game. So if you're not a puzzle person like me, this game's actually not too bad on puzzles. And if you do get stuck, YouTube's always there as well, so don't be ashamed to do that, because I did do it once or twice, not gonna lie, but the puzzles are pretty simple really. But yeah, God of War, absolutely fantastic. Definitely recommend playing that if you've not played it yourself, because wow, what a great bloody franchise. And now we're working up into my top 3 now. Coming in at number 3 is Horizon Forbidden West. This game came out quite early on last year, and you know what? Wow. I played only Horizon Zero Dawn last year. Well, not last year, but a year before that. That game was absolutely beautiful. I absolutely loved it. But this game, oh my Christ, it stole like my breath every time. Like every corner you turn, after every hill or something you climb, it's just visually stunning. It's like, wow. It's worth playing this game just for the visual. It's just so goddamn beautiful to watch. The story is obviously fantastic. The dinosaurs are amazing in it. The characters are likable. The overall package of this game, it's really worth just checking out the game, because I don't want to ruin it. If you haven't brought it yourself, I have played it on YouTube. You can go check out my playthrough of it. Just everything about this game is just fantastic. It's just generally beautiful, and this was a hard one not to put higher on the list, but it's in at number 3. So coming up to number 2, Spider-Man Miles Morales is number 2. I've always thought there's never a game been out there which I can associate when I get to Christmas time where I could play a video game. It's like when you get to Christmas time, it's like, oh, what Christmas movie could I watch? Oh, what Christmas show could I watch? What video game could I play as it's Christmas? I now have that video game, which is Spider-Man Miles Morales. Really good Spider-Man game. It was the first game I played coming into New Year, because I got it for Christmas at 2021. So that was the first game I played coming into 2022. And just playing it after Christmas, it was perfect. The story was great. It's not too long as well, which was quite good. Quite short, it's pretty simple. Miles is really good in it. The cast is really good in it. The overall Spider-Man game, to be honest, is just amazing. If you haven't played the first Spider-Man game, play that one, then play this one. It's just like, oh, so goddamn good. And I generally cannot wait for Spider-Man 2. It's going to be epic. I generally cannot wait. So, number 2 has to be Spider-Man. The overall game, story, mwah, beautiful. And I finally have a Christmas game to play now. So right, you're probably gonna hate me for my number 1, right? I can't separate them. I have delayed putting off my top 10 video out or posting on Instagram my top 10 games or anything like that, because I generally have been sat thinking about it, and I generally can't separate them. And I just want to go over my top 10 list here. There's no multiplayer. They're all been single player games. But I couldn't leave one of these multiplayer games out because it's just been phenomenal. And this story game is just phenomenal as well. And I can't separate them. They're joint number 1, but for different reasons. Has to be Modern Warfare 2. It's the first game that's come out which I'm generally addicted to. I want to play it all the time and stuff like that. And I generally have brought my love back for Call of Duty, which I have missed for years. My love for COD went away for a long time, and Modern Warfare 2019 came out, my love came back a little bit. But this Modern Warfare 2 it's even more, I got more love for the game than I do Modern Warfare 2019. I generally absolutely love Modern Warfare 2. It's just so good. The campaign, I've really enjoyed it. I love the multiplayer. Warzone, I've not played a lot. DMZ, it's just a lot in this game, and I absolutely love the multiplayer. And just for multiplayer alone, I have to put this at #1, like locked in. Want to kind of just, it's just slightly above it, my actual #1 game of the year. But that is literally so, like, just a smidge, a little bit. God of War. God of War is my proper #1 game of the year, but I feel horrible saying that, but Modern Warfare 2 as well. They're both so good games. I love both of them. But God of War is my other #1 game as well this year. I generally can't separate them. God of War Ragnarok. What a game. What a game. Absolutely loved it. Start to finish, like a movie. Epic. The characters again. The open world. Just the fighting. The progression in the characters. The moments. Just the overall package of the game. I would probably go as far as saying it's the best sequel for a game for a very long time in a way. Because like God of War 1 was good, but God of War like Ragnarok is very good. It's generally good because like generally as well for a sequel again, because you normally get like a game which just has like say 10 hours. This game feels like it's got an additional 6 hours sort of thing on top of it, but like it's got way more content in it and compared to God of War 1, and it's just overall the experience of the game is just so goddamn epic, just absolutely amazing. But it was really hard to kind of like, who do I put, Modern Warfare 2 or do I put God of War? They're both #1s, but just to give it that little edge, probably say God of War, but Modern Warfare 2 is like the smidge is just behind because I absolutely love the multiplayer in Modern Warfare 2, so I am copping out a little bit by giving 2 #1s, but I can't separate them, and I generally could not put it as #1 because I generally love Modern Warfare 2. It's just so good, and I love fucking God of War. But let us know in the comments down below what you think of my top 10 games of the year. Do you agree, disagree? Which order would you rejig that in? Or let us know your top 10 games in the comments down below. But thank you so much for taking your time to listen to me ramble about my top 10 games this year. I will have another video coming up soon with my top 10 most anticipated games for 2023, so make sure you keep an eye out for that, and I'll be sharing with you the games I'm most looking forward to. All right, so thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day, and if you want another video to watch on the channel, there's a video right here. Go check out another video. Why not?